Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our another live session to share and discuss certain perspective of our well-being and within an Ayurvedic concept. And today's our subject is in relation to our children. I'm sure all of us as parents feel very proud whenever we are blessed with a child. And we celebrate those happy moments with everyone around us, our family members, our friends. Now suddenly, when that child, either in early days of his or her life, even in a week time or 1 month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, that child suddenly start developing some issues. And issues can be just simple reflex, simple colic problem, even vomiting, or even simple cough and cold. And when these issues start coming or happen, even in the first instance, mom and dad start getting a bit worried and they would like to take the child to their GP. And initially, our GP will say, not to worry too much, see how it goes. And maybe if colic is there, so some antispasmodic drops can be given. And if a cough and cold is there, they might say, okay, just keep an eye on temperature. If the temperature comes up, just give a paracetamol syrup and he or she should be fine. And mom and dad feel that's all good. But when they see their child is constantly having this problem, and that simple problems can start getting a bit more worst and a bit more frequent, and child start getting these cough and cold with a little bit more fever and some wheezing comes up, then the same child will be prescribed with antibiotics, some antihistamines, even cough syrup with some bronchodilators or antitussive syrup. Even then, mom and dad feel that that's the way it should be, because every mom and dad will always think that, okay, if my child got sick, best I'm doing for my child to take him to the GP and get the remedies done. But never ever any practitioner in the world from any modality, or neither those mom and dad ever think that why my child is getting sick so frequently, even though my child is on my breast milk and good breastfed child is, and we are looking after him very nicely. And that's where all the problems start, which Ayurveda very clearly advised that the child you been blessed with after so many years of your efforts and the prayers, have you ever given a moment that why my child is getting sick? Because again, Ayurveda always talk to us, give us the information again so loudly that whatever the problem we suffer is not coming from the neighbor's home. We are the one who create it, and we are the one who have the ability to correct it. Same goes with our children. That little one who is just 6 months old who is on mom's breast milk, mom needs to look at what kind of diet, what kind of lifestyle she is on. And if the child has come up in the early age of her hips, 1 month or even few weeks, some kind of problems of tummy issues or colic has started, again, it has to come from mom. I'm not, don't take me wrong that I am against the mom, but that is the bottom line. Mom's lifestyle, if you will look at what she is eating, you can see her diet. If the little one has an colic or reflux or even this cough and cold, you can easily pick up mom's breakfast will be smoothies, then heavy protein diet. So because she is more concerned now to lose the weight, even though she just in 6 months of her baby and she want to come back into her shape, that's her concern rather than the well-being of that little one, which they were never have any kind of endless joys were around them when the little one came. So that is where that first part of our life comes up. And someone might ask, okay, hang on, what's a big deal if I'm taking my child to a doctor? I'm doing my best as my father or mother, and I'm taking him to the best of best consultant. So why you are creating such a big fuss? Answer to that is very simple. You need to remember that the little one who is 6 months old and 7 months old, if he start getting antibiotics regularly and frequently getting sick, that antibiotics are not only clearing up his chest congestions or other problems or some bugs in the tummy, they also impacting his healthy cells. And that is where the issues start happening from the very beginning. Having a child is one thing, but looking after child's well-being is totally in a different ballgame. We have to sacrifice our comfort if we want my child's well-being should be my prime focus until or unless that little one is able to make his own decisions. And this is not something end in 6 months or 8 months. You might see that the same little one who start getting a little bit of these various simple issue now start having more serious issues when he get a little bit more older, even a 1-year-old, and now you have started introducing certain kind of additional food, baby foods and like that. And if you look at nowadays, 90% mom and dad will be relying on those baby foods which are available either in our organic shops or even in the supermarket, which generally will be considered as your tin food. So even if you want to say that, okay, I'm giving my little one that fruits which are in the very organic that container, what is wrong in that? It's an easy. But no, it's not that easy. It is easy for you, but not that easy for little one. When you are giving those packet food from the very beginning, you are impacting that little one's immune system, not of his fault, because choices are being made by me. And that's where frequent gut issues, frequent chest issues, and then you will find frequent skin issues comes up. A lot of kids you will find, they come in the clinic, they will have a lot of skin problems. And when the skin problems come, they might start with a little bit of some rashes or a little bit of eczema, dermatitis. But when I take them to my GP and get some even very soft cream, so-called soft cream, right, and start applying, and what will happen? Does those problems go? Yes, they go away, but only for a short time. they come back again. And when they come back again, they come with a more venom, the more worst. And then within a very gentle smile, your practitioner will be giving you this cream, even though it's a little bit stronger, but you have no choice. You have to apply that. And you have no choice anyway. You will get into that as a parent because you don't want your child to cry whole night. You want him or her to feel a little bit better sleep as well as you can sleep there. But those issues which we started in that early age, we'd never ever give a thought that they become the foundation of that child's future problems. And that child who was born healthy to some extent with our wrong options and decisions has to suffer to such problems which could have been handled very nicely. And this is where the problems start sometime, that from Ayurvedic perspective, it is always advisable that when a child is born, mom's diet should be very light on her gut, because it is not only her well-being, it is the well-being of the little one too. So when you are starting that little one with various kind of foods, again further to look at, I'm not against the meat or anything, but many times you can see even within a 6 months child, most of the mom and dad will try to get into, give my little one some meat so that I can get his bones stronger, muscles stronger, so that he can start becoming a very strong young boy. But then before we start thinking of our little one to as in a young 16, 18 years old, we already making the issues which he and she has to suffer whole her life, especially the gut. Reason why I'm coming to the gut, because gut is where everything need to get metabolized, digested, so that the little one can have the nutrient to nourish his body. But what problems comes up? Problems is that the little one's gut, which is so soft and not even able to digest the cooked fruit, steamed fruit, what you prepare outside, or steamed veggies, right? You are trying to give them that organic and super organic meat on the name of giving him nourishment. So that is one part to understand. Then see the age coming up, what we call as a toddler age, or your 5-6 year old age, where again that same little one who was having a bit of issues of cough and cold and kind of thing frequently, now is getting the same sort of problem, but within a more stronger and frequency. And when you take that little one to same GP, now he will say that, look, his chest is so wheezy, you need to give him this inhaler, which is very safe, no problem in that, but you have to give that. And parents have to accept that. No parent ever get advised that you need to look after that little one's diet and lifestyle. So when parents ask me, okay, hang on, when you say about these diets, what do you mean? Reason is, it's not that something I make or something. It is very well established in Ayurveda that diet of each individual, even from our little one to the old age, 80 years, 70 years, should go according to the age, because age can be divided into 3 different sections from Ayurvedic perspective. One age is from 0 to 16. There is a specific dominance of our bodily intelligence which govern that period. And in that period, what we call as kapha constitution, kapha intelligence is dominated, which is naturally have qualities of cold, damp, moist, heavy, sticky. So any food either eaten by mom while she is breastfeeding or eaten by the little one when they start their external food items are having those aspects, that little one is bound to get sick. And what kind of things are there? You look at their cereals with the cold milk, and then milk and yogurt and banana, which is a standard sort of breakfast for our little one. Then look at their ice creams, bananas, smoothies also nowadays we have, and then look at their lunches with the burger, cheese, big slice of cheese, tomato sauce, and even that slice of ham or something coming up in their way. What those things are going, and then on top of that means icing on the cake, they always will have those Coke and Pepsis in hand, or other kind of drinks in their hand. And some who might say that I'm very aware, mom and dad, I only give them organic juice and no added sugar and kind of thing. Still, juice is juice. Cold juice you are giving, and then that age is there, and then the seasonal consideration we don't put so much. That is where problems comes up, and one need to be careful for that. Now, many mom or many dad will ask, okay, hang on, everyone gets sick. We have been sick in our young age, so what is a big thing? But as I said, nothing is a big thing if we never value the life. If for us, life is just to keep spending our year by year, and our breakfast, lunch and dinner are dominated with the pills and capsule, for them, that's not a problem. But when you want to live physically, mentally, emotionally in a much more balanced state, then these things need to be looked at from the very early stages. And that is what the part of the children well-being we are talking about, that when they get these kind of issues, either the chest issues, either the gut issue, either the skin related issues, because these are the predominantly major problems which comes up with the kid. So rather than you taking them to GP, first of all, look at what we are feeding them. And another issue as a parent I will try to share with all of you, when parents come to me and I ask them that this is what you need to avoiding for your child, and after 7 days I will get a call, or look, my child is not listening and he's creating a lot of tantrum, he want the piece of bread or cheese which you have taken. I say, how you're having breakfast? What do you mean by breakfast? When we are giving him and we are telling him that, look, this is not you can eat because that doctor has told you can't eat that because you are sick. And then I politely will ask them, what you are eating for breakfast? What do you mean by what I am eating? I'm eating my bread and cheese and or I'm eating my smoothies. So I say, hang on. If you are on that dining table where that little one is sitting and you don't want to give him that bread, cheese, or those issues which we discussed, but you are eating in front of him, do you think it's going to work? No matter how much strong your child will be. If I am eating all those things, I am telling him you are not allowed to have cheese, you are not allowed to have chips, you are not allowed to have tomato sauce because you are a bit sick, but I am allowed because I am not sick and I have not gone to that doctor. I only taken you and fulfill my responsibility. Responsibility does not finish with the children in this way. If my child is not allowed to eat those things, they should not exist in my house. That is the way you can bring your child to that stability level. You have to eliminate, you have to sacrifice those things from your own life. Yes, I know that I'm not able to send you all to Himalayas, and that is not my motive. What I'm sharing is children's well-being is where the element of awareness start from. And if we can give our children that greater stable foundation, it will be a big service towards them, so that when they grow with that awareness, they grow with that level of control, that they don't indulge into these things. We know that no one is going to stop those things, and I'm not also saying that you totally stop these things, but when the time is not right and you need to look at all these things, how much in moderation you can give them. And if your child is suffering from these kind of problems, it means something is incompatible with him or her, and you must look after those things. And to look after them, you always can follow Ayurvedic principles. And Ayurvedic principle, even if you're looking for, give the diet something which is easily digestible and nice and warm food you are giving, because they are going through the kapha age, what we call as, which is naturally cold, damp, moist, and sticky. So that one part you can do that. And if they have these kind of sicknesses coming to them quite often, and you still have to give some remedies, because if I have done mistake as a parent and my child is sick, so I can't sit at home and not to take him to doctor. If you are not able to take him to the GP, not so that you don't want to give them the inhalers or antibiotics, you can definitely take to an Ayurvedic practitioner, and he or she will be able to give you a good Ayurvedic remedies which are not there for a symptomatic solution, but they will correct the cause and remove those problems which are building up. They will give you a plan which you can follow, and follow that diet. And even say, for example, if someone is having a chest congestions and other, that practitioner will advise you that give him steam inhalation, so that at night which they are wheezing, they won't wheeze and they will be able to sleep properly. So that kind of issues which can be taken care within a small simple advice can give a great foundation to your child. So as a parent, this is what our role is. Nowadays, another issue which you might have seen come with the children is what we call as ADD or AHD and other issues which relate with a lot of mental concept and mental issues. So where that problem comes up. Again, excuse me, but I have to go back to the mom and dad's time of conception now. So during that period, yes, not every child's issue of these will come from that component, but 90% time, the contribution of mom's, dad's state of physical, mental health at the time of conception and during pregnancy period will play in a big role. During that time, mom's lifestyle, mom's diet, dad's contribution, all will play in a big role. How the state of the mom's mind is during the time of pregnancy, that also play in a role, because these all problems are considered as in Ayurveda Vata aggravations. Vata is another intelligence which work in our nervous system in the brain. So in simple word, you can say when the wiring in the brain start getting a bit confused, that is where you get into trouble. So on those note, again, from Ayurvedic perspective, what we try to do is we try to remove the cause. Now someone will say, okay, once the wiring is wrong, if you are saying wiring wrong, how are you going to fix it? Again, this is where our role comes up. That when we see that some issues has happened in the nervous system, we first of all will try to remove any kind of stimulant, external now, which can create more problems in that nervous system. So again, diet will play in a big role. And again, second component will come up, how that little one is being looked after by the parents also. If you might have experienced being around with such children, you will find they naturally are very, very intelligent. And they have a lot of questions to ask, a lot of queries and other things. But as a busy parent, what we try to do, when that little one asks us hundreds of questions, and we feel, oh, I'm just coming from my office or from my job, and I have to do my cooking also, and I'm busy, and I have to see the news, how many COVID-19 cases has come up and you are trying to now ask your own questions here, right? Just go and play your game. And that's why I have been spending so much money and getting every week and a good game for you, whether that game is on fight or whether that game is to kill so many other people or other viruses and bacteria or whatever he is killing. Nowadays, those games are coming up. So what actually I'm doing? Do I see myself as a father fulfilling my honest responsibility? Basically, no, I'm running away from my responsibility. Rather than spending so much time with him, if unfortunately that issue has come up with that child, not for his own fault, the faults lie with the parents too again, when they were not in that right state of mind, physically, mentally, and has developed those problems, then it is in our hand that how we can correct it. Again, when I look at from the Western medicine perspective, and I am taking him to my consultant and other practitioner, they will be giving him some kind of remedies. What they will do, they will suppress the mental function, nervous system's function, which is again nothing but contributing towards more problem with that child. That child's nervous system, brain will not develop fully, and he will be living mostly in a dull state, which can then contribute towards his panic attack, stress, or even depression state most of his life. That is how they will suffer, or their problems will get more and more worse. Whereas if you are going to take it to an Ayurvedic practitioner, they will be able to again create a well-structured plan, program for that little one, and the medicines which are given in Ayurveda, there are so many specific remedies for these problems, for especially related with the mental issues. Autism is there, or ADD, ADHD problems, or other issues are there, or memory loss is there, or even some lack of concentrations, and so many other small issues. Speech problems are there, dyslexia is there. So those herbs, what we call as Medhya herb. Medhya herb means the brain related herbs, which will correct the problem, but at the same time not suppress their normal function and normal growth. So in that respect, you can really make a positive contribution towards your child's well-being. Whatever problems are, problems can come up. We don't need to blame ourselves, yes, as long as we take the right responsibility and take the right action. If we not able to take and think correctly at the early stages, and now if we can think and take right action, it will be still helpful. Given a good foundation to your child, given a stable foundation to your child, so that down the track, when he or she grows as a teen or adult, they don't need to suffer from the problems for no reason of their. What they do in their life now when they are 20 or 30, as a parent, it sometimes becomes difficult for us to have that control. But one thing we all need to remember as a parent, if we have given them a great foundation, you will find that no matter how big storms comes up, that child will be always stable and will always be able to handle those situations in a good way. There is a simple saying that if the foundation or the roots of a big tree are deep and strong and well watered, no matter how big storms comes up, that tree can stand. That tree can survive. Same is in our life. And that's what we all need to look at. Not just to look at our own well-being, not just to always think of that I'm going to go and fight with the machines and making my 6 app, and that is what my responsibility is. My responsibility is also towards those little ones which has come in this world and are dependent on us at least up to the age of 16, you can make a positive contribution towards children well-being, and that contribution, not being biased, but that's where the reality of the life is. If any science can teach us that how I can make contribution towards my child's well-being, is Ayurvedic science. Reason of that is Ayurvedic science, Ayurvedic modality is not just relying on that you keep feeding them with the pills or tablets or the herbs, no matter, even though we always say that these herbs are good, but focus is until or unless we are able to work with the root cause of those problems. And when you have given them that ability to correct the problems, remove those causes, you will find your child will be happy, cheerful, and it will be a blessing to be around him and enjoy the moment, rather than having a sleepless nights, getting more frustrated, getting more angry, and then ourselves getting on antidepressant. That is what I will say. Play a positive role in child's well-being by following Ayurvedic principle for themselves. Thank you.